Hello, my friends. It's Manny Rodriguez. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. Look like my audio might have been a little too high there. Hope you're having an amazing day. It is September 28, 2021, and I wanted to bring you another GABBY Petito update. And as I'm following along on this story on a daily basis, I'm telling you, it's like a constant update around the story. This is one of the most sensational stories I've ever come across. And when I follow this, I ask myself, number one, what draws me to this? I do follow a lot of true crime, normally for understanding, normally for sharing, especially in the case of this channel. I want to help you stay on top of what's going on out there in the true crime world, because you never know who you will come across. And as part of this is bringing awareness of what goes on out there. Who would have thought going on a cross-country trip with someone you believe loves you, someone that you love, that you wouldn't be coming back? This is one of the most tragic stories I've ever come across. Continue to follow and continue to see what's going on out there, where I'm trying to keep you aware. My goal is to do the research for you so you can sit back. I forgot to get my water refill. Enjoy your beverage and take it in so you can follow. And in the case of this, all eyeballs are looking for Brian Laundrie. And so today the family had a press conference, and this is only the second time they've had this press conference. This is only the second time since when the body was found, they had a press conference shortly after that. And with it, this is hard for them. This is hard for them. I'm sure you can imagine. It's hard for them to even talk about this, right? It's hard for them to even talk about this. And so here we are trying to figure out what happened to this young girl. Well, first, from what I understand, the police, the FBI, they still have her body. They did have a funeral for her, but I originally reported that I believe that she was cremated. I'm not too sure that's accurate. She will be cremated from my understanding, but the family has not received her back yet. They've not received her body and her remains. And so from my understanding, they are still doing a lot of testing as part of the ongoing investigation. And so we're still trying to figure out what is going on with this story, because we don't know what happened to GABBY. The autopsy has not been revealed. We don't know much at this stage. We don't know much at all at this stage. And so we're left trying to find some answers, trying to see, where is he? He is on the run. No one can find him. And so today they had a press conference, and they all said a little something. I believe they all said a little something. I don't think the stepmom actually said anything. The lady to the far left on your screen, the blonde lady, that's the stepmother. I don't think that she spoke at all. The dad did, the stepfather did, and the mom did. And so I want to share a little with you on some of what was discussed on there. I took some notes on it. One of the things that they're wanting, and I believe it was her father that said this, we need positive stuff. That was a big share. We need positive stuff. We can't let her name be taken in vain. And so they want more positivity out of this. And they shared something So that is the actual video footage. Now, this YouTuber, he's obviously doing his best to create some content, and he's knowing how to do clickbait at the same time, because even I've jumped on a stream and be like, you really shouldn't share misinformation or just put something on the headline to get clicks. And I made a comment like that because he was sharing some stuff. Let me bring him up here. He was sharing some stuff that got me clicking on it, because I'm like, wait a second, is he sharing on it? At this time, I'm not realizing that this guy is really not as great as he's acting like, right? So Joseph Morris sharing stuff that he even shared. It's almost like someone asked a question and he just ran with it without actually verifying if there's any substance behind it. So, but it looked like he himself did some digging, found a video. I don't know why he didn't think any of the internet sleuths would find this same video, and did like a 3-second clip of it, and then created a dummy account, something along those lines, making it seem like it was Brian, who was live for 3 seconds by mistake, which we all know he left his phone at home. So she did her digging, and she was on a YouTube channel today, and they went even deeper on it. Popcorned Planet. So they talked about it even further. Now, I had seen her video by another YouTuber, and who was sharing how she debunked it, and that this was so inaccurate, and which was really hilarious overall that would actually happen. And so this Joseph Morris guy has been creating some content, and he has admitted he was new to this a little bit, because he's always been doing editing stuff. So he's admitting that he knows how to do editing pretty well. And so he came across that and obviously edited and created content. But he's been sharing stuff in reference to her. Was Gabby pregnant? Was that why she was killed? Doing stuff to get clicks. Now, it did work for him, because he has blown up tremendously. I mean, you can look at his videos before he started doing Gabby Petito videos and after he started doing Gabby Petito videos. And so right here, he started with the Gabby Petito, lightly. I mean, you can see he's gone through the roof in a small period of time. He was using great clickbait to get people to click on it. Okay, so you can see right here, it looks like his very first Gabby Petito video, Gabby Petito case, Instagram and Spotify, 1 week ago. Looks like 1 week ago he started doing content. Now before this, 3,000 views, 5,000 views, 5,000, 3,000, almost 7,000 there, 8,000. Okay, he is getting some here and there, 10,000, 12,000, 19,000. But watch this. He starts doing Instagram. He starts doing the Gabby Petito, 6,000. That one's 7,000. Talking about a Karen video. Then Gabby Petito, 6,000. Gabby Petito, 6,000. Gabby Petito, 174,000. So I'm sure now he's licking his chops, right? Like, holy mackerel, this is some big stuff. I need to keep running with this. And it is big, obviously, 174,000 views. And so then he continues to do that. 4,000, 6,000, 22,000. Brian Laundrie sighting, and he's just going off of whatever sighting that's out there. Brian Laundrie, I mean, he started sharing some misinformation on this, and when people start calling you out, y'all better work on getting your facts straight, right? Brian Laundrie sighting there. 30,000, 12,000, 19, 259,000. Of course, he's loving this, right? Now he's going daily, multiple times a day. 15,000, 6,000, 212,000. So this is now consumed this whole time. He admits he's losing sleep. Yeah, he's loving these 3-figure views. I don't blame you, buddy. But you gotta do it in a credible way with doing your research. Not just someone ask a question, let me run with it and ask, is this real? You gotta do some research behind this. Now, I'm new to the true crime world. I've been doing YouTube videos for many, many years. His channel, this thing's about 9 years old. He should know better. If he's been doing editing, he should know better. The one thing I will say, I understand, yes, you want people to click. You want sexy headlines. You want great headlines that grab people's attention. But you don't want to do it as clickbait where you're saying Brian Laundrie caught, and we all know he's not been caught at all. That's where the misinformation really comes in, and that's where it's unfair. You don't want to share misinformation. Look at all this content in 1 week. I get it. I totally get it. But stick to the facts. Don't go creating fake accounts in order to talk about that fake account. I mean, that's one of the biggest scams you can do, my friend. Don't do that. From one YouTuber to another, don't do that. That's not ethical. That, I get the wanting, so look at that, 585,000 views. I get that. Okay, it worked for you. And obviously he even had to put out a statement because so many people were calling him out. You can't do that stuff. You can't do that stuff. That is key when you're wanting to do social media, that you stick to the facts. You will never make everyone happy. I don't care who you are. You will never make everyone happy. That's just a fact. That is just a fact. No doubt about it. So, get it straight. Joseph Morris, I'm sure you're probably going to use this as a learning curve. But please use it as a learning curve. Don't create dummy accounts in order to get exposure for yourself. That's just wrong. So I wanted to correct myself. Speaking of correcting myself, and this is kind of a correct because I wasn't wrong necessarily, but I shared that when dispatch called in the cops, that, I only emphasized on the slap. They actually slapped. The dispatch told the cops he was seen slapping and hitting Gabby. And I think this is key because a lot of this has come out in reference to this whole story. And so the MOAB city is under fire because of the way they handled this. And so I think that this is key in that. And so this is important with that, everything should have been done. And here's the truth. In hindsight, everything's 2020, right? And this is where, as humans, I know we can easily make mistakes. We can make mistakes. And so I only want people to be held accountable for mistakes that they made. Should they lose their job? Now that there's a life that was lost because of this is a big deal. So if this should have been prevented with the right information, if the dispatch gave the right information, then it should have been given correctly all along the lines. And so I want to also share, and I've said this and I'm almost kind of following up with what I continue to say. I don't believe that Brian was ever in the Carlton Reserve. And now it's looking to cost that city $1.2 million for this manhunt in a place that they believe because the parents sent them on a wild goose chase. I know, I said it. I probably shouldn't say it. But I believe they were sent on a goose chase to give him time to go elsewhere. I could be completely wrong. But the one thing I don't believe I'm wrong about is he was not in Carlton Reserve. You guys brought him time when you said he went to Carlton Reserve to go for a hike. I truly believe that. And so now people are wondering, will the Laundrie family be held responsible for that $1.2 million manhunt and all the reserves, the trees that are being taken down, the bushes, all the reserve port part there at the Carlton Reserve, the way it's being done up, who's going to be responsible for that? Who's going to be responsible for that? And so now it remains to be seen, will they be held responsible for that? Because here, remember, they told him that he went to the Carlton Reserve. And now we're left wondering, did he really? Did he ever actually end up at the Carlton Reserve? Did he ever end up at the Carlton Reserve? Because that's where you said he went on September 14th of Tuesday. That's what you said, parents. You said he went there on a hike, and then now you're worried that he may do something to himself. Why would he have to do something to himself? Yeah, Well, that remains to be seen as well. And so you guys reported him missing on September 17th because you said he went to the Carlton Reserve on a hike and he never returned. There's so much lies I believe that you're a part of in this case that I don't even know where to begin with you guys. And, I could see why you're not saying much now because you've not said anything all along. But do you not want to help? You say that you want the FBI to find him. Baloney. Malarkey. I'm not buying it one bit. I am not buying it one bit. After 6 days of investigation so far, this has cost over $1.2 million. Someone should be held responsible. They're estimating that it's costing $200,000 a day. Now, granted, they scaled it back, so it's probably not costing as much, but it's still going to cost a lot. And I hope that someone finds him. I just hope someone finds him. It remains to be seen, though, if anything will come about this. We'll just have to wait and find out, right? And it's gotten to the point where the MOAB police chief goes on a leave of absence because of everything that's coming down. The way this was handled. Someone should be held accountable for this, right? Someone should be held accountable if this was the fault of the police that pulled them over and was talking to them. So now the MOAB, he requested a leave of absence and they granted it to him. What does that actually mean, though, in the grand scheme of things? And so I mentioned this a few lives back that the department, the MOAB City Police Department, there's a formal investigation going into the way they handled this police stop. When they stopped Gabby Petito and her then fiancé Brian Laundrie weeks before Petito disappearance, because they were stopped and they had both sides. They had the dispatch. I think that is so key. The dispatcher calling and saying something along these lines, I think, are key. And so now we're left with they had the press conference today, and there's still no new developments in this press conference, but there's a few things that I did want to hit on. They talked about the foundation a little bit. Maybe that's the blue ribbon on them. But they're still working the details out of this foundation, the Gabby Petito Foundation. They don't know if it's going to be for children. They don't know if it's going to be for adults. They're still working out all the details. They did go into it a little bit, but nothing too major. So they were sharing that they're getting well wishes, cards all across the world. People are sending them cards, wishing them well, wishing that this turns out, that they find Brian, and they were thankful towards that. They're getting a lot of attention. And, you know, the big thing they also hit on is let's bring more awareness to more of the missing kids. They don't want just this to be about a Gabby Petito thing. They want to use this as an example of all the other people that went missing. Let's get them justice. The big thing that they're focused on is hashtag justice for Gabby. They want justice for Gabby. We all want justice for Gabby. Hashtag justice for Gabby. And they shared one thing that was, do not mention the name Brian around them. They will not acknowledge that. Someone even said the name Brian. They said, we're not talking about Brian. They don't want to talk about Brian or his family anymore. Don't ask them about that. They're not talking about it. They don't want the name being mentioned at all. Nothing to do. They're pretty much done with, they're trying to erase all memory, which good luck there. Well, I don't think any of us are forget that. And so they don't, nothing at all. And so one of the things that Gabby's father mentioned, and it hit me too. I'm going to say, but he said it's on all of us to help all the missing people out there. He said it's up to us to do something. And this was also in reference to, don't just make this about Gabby, help find the missing people. They understand that this has become a big deal. One guy lost his job over this as a news anchor because of the kind of a race thing behind this missing, and the white people I don't even know what it's called, something syndrome. I don't know. To me, this has nothing to do with race, so I can't say I understand what someone else would go through. All I see is a crazy story that took some crazy twist. And now that I'm reporting on true crime, I thought this would be the first one where I talk about something that's current. Because most of what I started off with was things that have occurred in the past. See, I don't really want to hit on too much that doesn't have an ending. You'll never have a happy ending, but I want an ending of some kind where someone is brought to justice. We need justice for Gabby. And so this is the first story where I'm actually, this is current. Let's bring justice for Gabby. To me, that's the biggest thing. Let's bring justice for Gabby. And I'm sure many of you would agree, let's bring justice for Gabby. In this video, it's heartbreaking, and I'm going to kind of jump to the ending of it. It's heartbreaking because you can see the mom can't handle it much anymore. As her husband, there's only 5 minutes left, but as her husband is getting deeper into it, and I chose not to do audio at all. You guys probably saw it. You see, she's starting to get weaker on here. It's starting to hurt her a little more. This is something that is unreal. They're showing all the tattoos that they got. And I gave you guys a little close-up earlier. Those are the tattoos. But look at the poor mom. I love how what they chose to get the tattoos of. I love it, love it, love it, love it. They were obviously, the story will remain in infamy. This is one of the most heartbreaking stories. We only hope we can find. If you guys want to support the Gabby Petito Foundation, I shared the only 2 links that you can share, that you can actually do anything through. And I shared it in the description. If you can do anything yourself and you can share with this Gabby Petito Foundation, these are the only 2 links that you'll find anything. So you can share it below. You can click on the link below and it will help. It will lead you to the right place. And so we are, I want to show, like, the mom, my heart goes out to you. Rest in peace, Gabby Petito. Taken way too soon. someone who was so full of life, who had so much to give this world, and a coward took her way too soon. We want answers. The family deserves answers. Let's get justice for Gabby. This is her stepdad speaking at this moment. And as we wind down, you can see that the mom, she just starts breaking down. It gets harder. It gets harder as they continue, especially with questions. You're constantly being reminded. And you can see she's starting to look. She talks a little. She's sharing a little on there, and it gets harder for her. And this is where they basically ended as they're walking away, ending the press conference. I'm sorry. Wishing you guys well. Hopefully we find Brian. If you know anything at all, call 800, call FBI. Share any tips. Dog the bounty hunters on this. And last, before I get out of here, something that blows my mind. There are subreddit groups that are supporting Brian Laundrie, feeling like what she did led him to do whatever he did, and saying, I mean, when all roads lead to one way, how do you look the other way? And if he wasn't guilty, why would he run? Why would he run if he wasn't guilty? Why would he be on the run so long if he wasn't guilty? I truly believe that dog got a really good tip on this. And why are people supporting? You know, to each his own. I don't know. I can appreciate everyone deserves a fair chance, but all roads lead to one person who is hiding and never spoke. Why wouldn't the family speak? If they knew in their heart he was so innocent, they would just plead, he's innocent, he's innocent. You guys they could say anything. They could give him reasons why he's running if they can so much say he's innocent. I don't even think I've heard the words, he's innocent, he didn't do this, he doesn't know anything. They said that he's going to stay in the background or something like that. They're saying that they hope they find him. How does this happen? You know, only time will tell what will happen next. Only time will tell. My friends, thank you so much for being here today. Let me know in the comments, are you continuing to follow this story? Where do you think Brian Laundrie is? I would love to hear your take on where do you think Brian Laundrie is at. I'm Manny Rodriguez, my friends, and I look forward to serving you guys again and keeping you updated on these crazy true crime stories as we go deep in true crime. Have a great day, my friends. I look forward to serving you soon. Peace.